Hi, and welcome back to Sarah Gray Crochet. Today we are going to be going through and ranking all of my past DIY and crochet Halloween costumes. Now in reality, today is a hot day in August, but in my world, we are counting down to spooky season, which is my favorite time of year. It's fall, it's Halloween. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, so I am in the mood to get into the spirit of things. So what a better time to go through all of my old DIY and crochet Halloween costumes and rank them. Now, as a fiber artist and also someone who loves a good DIY, my goal every year with Halloween is to come up with a Halloween costume that I can make myself, whether that's with something crocheted or pieces from my closet, things I've thrifted. I love the challenge of coming up with something new every year. So I have a fun variety in here, and I think it'll be fun to kind of go back through and rank everything that I've come up with in the last, I think there's at least like 5 years worth of costumes here. So let's jump in. Now I have my laptop set up over here off screen, and we are going to use the tiermaker.com that everyone kind of uses to do their ranking lists. And I came up with some fun rankings for these costumes. So first, top best I've ever come up with is going to be Slade. Next coming down is 10 out of 10 Wood Trick or Treat again. Mid-tier is going to be Cute, but I'd have to explain it. So costumes that came out really cute, but might be a little niche, might be a little just would need more of an explanation to explain what I am. So we have a few of those in there. Next down is going to be Back to the Witch's Workshop. So that's any of the costumes that I came up with that at the time I thought were really cool, but could definitely use a little bit more work and workshopping. So that is going to be the fourth one. And then the last one is going to be Haunting in a Bad Way. So these are the ones that I think were just a swing and a miss. Maybe we'll get back to them at some point, maybe not, but we're just going to send them to the graveyard for now. I tried to put all of these in chronological order. So to kick us off, we have my Scarecrow costume from 2020. I'll do my best to also put pictures here so you can see a better close-up of what they looked like at the time. I really like how this costume came out. I remember I wanted to do something with makeup. So I remember looking up tutorials and, looking on Pinterest for inspo, and I saw some really cute Scarecrow makeup, and I was like, yes, I want to do that. And that was one of my first times kind of exploring more detailed makeup as part of a Halloween costume look. So I think for this first one, I'll put it in 10 out of 10 with Trick or Treat again. I also used shoelaces to tie my overalls in a little bit. And I don't know, I think it's just like a very cute, classic Halloween costume, one that's kind of easy to put together if you're short on time. So we'll give that one a 10 out of 10. Next was a costume I put together in 2021. I dressed up as, I am in fact filming this on my porch in August, so the mini fan is necessary. Hopefully it looks more like a glow as opposed to me sweating, but what can you do? Next, this was a costume I did in 2021. I dressed up as Debbie from the Wild Thornberries. She's the older sister. I think this costume in general was pretty easy to put together. I just needed like ripped jeans, an orange top, like a crop top, and then some just like a flannel. And then I just put on some really like dark purple lipstick. I think it was cute. I think it could be better. Also, I don't know, Wild Thornberries was big when I was a kid, but it might be something that might be a little too niche or need to be explained nowadays. So I think I'll put this in cute, but I'd have to explain it because I think I got the overall vibe, but it might need a bit of an explanation. Next was in, I believe, 2021 or 2022. I decided to do a spin on If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, which is a children's book I grew up with, and it's very cute. I thought this was really cute at the time. I think it could definitely use some work now. I literally took like construction paper and taped it over some Mickey ears I had lying around, and then I took a cookie and just, or like a piece of construction paper and made it into a cookie and wore it around my neck. And then I put overalls on. I thought the makeup turned out really cute. I don't know, I like this one, but I think it could be better. So we're gonna put that in back to the witch's workshop. Next is one that I actually really, really love. I believe this was also in 2022. I was honestly having like a very long day at work and I was really over it. So at the end of the day, I ended up putting together all of these tiny little construction mushrooms, like out of construction paper, these tiny little guys, and I taped them to a crown I had. And I had fairy wings. I had like a polka dot skirt lying around, and I remember after I finished work late that day, I went into the bathroom and just did this like really cool polka dot makeup look, and my idea was being like basically like a toadstool fairy, a spin-off of that. And I don't know, I think this one is really, really cute. I would honestly do it again. So we'll put this one in 10 out of 10 would trick or treat again. Okay. Next, we're actually at one of my all-time favorites that I've done. This was back in 2022, I believe. I dressed up as all three of the Hex Girls from the Scooby-Doo Halloween movie. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll put it on screen. And this was one of my all-time favorite movies growing up. I absolutely loved the Hex Girls when they came on screen, and they were like my favorite part of that whole movie. Plus, they were witches, and just the vibes were immaculate. So I dressed up as all three, Thorn, Dusk, and Luna. I think Dusk was probably my favorite. I had pretty short blonde, like pretty bright blonde hair at the time, and I thought it looked really nice with like my satin blue dress and the blue lipstick, and I thought that one came out perfectly. Thorn was really fun because of her long dark hair. I think I could pull off Thorn a little bit better now with my natural hair. But and then I loved Luna as well. I don't know if that look came together perfectly, but I still loved that I dressed up as all three of them. I think there's a TikTok video of me like doing the famous like witches sound from them, and I don't know, it's one of my all-time favorite Halloween costumes that I've done. I will always reference it. So this will be the first one going in Slade. Yeah, I would definitely do that one again. I'm not sure how I would change it. I might change up the outfits a little bit, but yeah, I absolutely love that one. 2022 was a great year for me, Halloween costume wise. That was when Hocus Pocus 2 came out. I am a Hocus Pocus stan. I love that movie. I watch it every Halloween. The second one was fine. I think it had fair critiques, but I loved watching it for the nostalgia. One thing I did absolutely love from Hocus Pocus 2 was in the beginning scene when they meet like the mother witch, basically, and she shows up and she gives the girls the book at the very beginning of the movie. And it's one of my favorite scenes. I absolutely loved the costuming for the mother witch. I'll put pictures of her up. And I was like, well, that's my Halloween costume. So I ended up thrifting a red dress. I found the little like bird cloak thing on Amazon. I painted the eye on the red dress, and I did my hair and my makeup, and I added little glittery I added little glitter things, or oh my god, what are they called? Like little gemstones. There we go. I added little gemstones around my eyes. This was one of my all-time favorite Halloween costumes. The issue is it's pretty niche, so not a lot of people got it. They might have gotten it if they saw the movie, but again, she's only in the movie for like less than 5 minutes, so I don't know how much it stuck with people, but I loved it. So I think this will go into cute, but I'd have to explain it, although I really loved how that one came out. Okay, next we're moving into 2023, and this was when I had actually started crocheting in 2022, but 2023 was when I was really getting into doing different things with it, and this was kind of the first costume based around something I had crocheted. So I decided to be Louise from Bob's Burgers, Louise Belcher. Probably my favorite of the Belcher kids, although I absolutely love Tina and Jean to death, and I'm honestly probably more like Tina and Gail than I am like Louise, but you know, I love Louise. She has my heart. So I decided to dress up as her for Halloween, and I crocheted her hat and the ears. And I thought this turned out really cute. I loved the way that the ears actually like stood up, and I found just like the green t-shirt dress on Amazon, and I think I wore it with some black Converse, and it came together really easily. I would definitely wear this costume again. I made my husband dress up as Rudy, and it was, I don't know, it was just a really cute costume. So we'll put that in 10 out of 10 would trick or treat again. Next in 2023, I wanted to do something a little more classic. The classic witch costume. I had thrifted a witch's hat either that year or the year before. I had found a really cute corset and Beetlejuice top at Spirit Halloween. And I was like, well, obviously I have to dress up as like a classic witch. And I added some like dark lipstick with it. And I felt like this was pretty classic. Nothing crazy, but also I thought it was pretty cute. So I don't know. I like this one, but this is one of the ones that I'm like, I can always do that better. So I think we'll put this in Back to the Witch's Workshop. I think it's cute, but always room for improvement on witches' costumes. Okay, looking back at it, the witch's costume might have actually been from 2024. I've dressed up as a witch a few times. So anyway, also in 2024, we're back with some fun crochet hats. I decided I wanted to do something inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I decided to dress up as Appa. So I crocheted a bucket hat that has the Appa arrow and the Appa ears. And then I did some really fun makeup with this look. I gave myself like a snout and whiskers and like crazy highlights for it. So makeup and hat wise, I think this came out really, really cute. Outfit wise, I think I literally just wore overalls, like brown overalls with a white shirt underneath. So I'm on the fence with this one. I absolutely love how the hat and the makeup came out, but I also think if I were to do it again, I would probably do it a little bit differently to make it more clear what I am or who I am. So I will move this to, we'll make it mid-tier. Cute, but I'd have to explain it. I think most people get the reference for Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I still would want to do things a little bit differently if I were to do that one again. Next, we're moving into 2025. So these are all the costumes I had put together last year that were kind of DIY or inspired by different things. And this is probably going to be our first fail. So I had the idea that I wanted to do Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time. And I had a vision where I was like, okay, I could get like a really cute little skirt, a cute top, make it flowy, and then do some really fun makeup and get a purple wig. And ultimately, I think the vibe was there, but I just don't love the execution of it. So I think this will be the first one going in haunting, but in a bad way. I think if you're going to go with something like Lumpy Space Princess that has such a body to it, you should just like full send it and make like a body for it as opposed to trying to make it more like a wearable thing. So I would do that a lot differently if I were to do that costume again. All right, next, also from last year, this was a couple's costume I did with my husband. I dressed up as Princess Mononoke, or San from the movie Princess Mononoke, and my husband dressed up as Ashitaka. And I ended up crocheting the Ashitaka headpiece, and then I also ended up crocheting the ears and the mask and the like the dagger that San uses, and also the necklace that she wears. So it was a lot of crocheting, and I think execution wise, I'd give myself like a B+ on this one. I got it, the idea was there, but I think if I were to do it again, I don't know if I would go with crochet for like the mask and everything, just because it was, I don't know if it translated exactly the way I wanted it to, but I still think it was a cool Halloween costume to put together with a lot of different moving parts. So for this one, I think I'll put it in cute, but I'd have to explain it. But I love all of the Miyazaki films. Totoro is my favorite, but I love Princess Mononoke, so I was really happy I got to do that as a costume, but I think I would do it a little bit differently next time. Next, also from last year, I went back to Bob's Burgers, of course. That's one of my favorite animated shows, and I decided to dress up as Linda Belcher. I had the red shirt and glasses, and I borrowed an apron, and I wore just like dark jeans. And it's a pretty simple costume to put together, but I really like how it came out regardless. And I think I really like how I look in the red for this costume. And I felt really cute in this costume. So for that, we are going to put it in 10 out of 10 wood trick or treat again. All right, we're down to the final two. Second to last one from last year, I decided to dress up as Meredith Blake from The Parent Trap, an icon. And I wanted to do the scene where she's on the hike with the kids and she drinks the water bottle and there's a lizard, and it's classic. For this one, I think I kind of got the vibe there, but I think I could have done better. I really liked the water bottle bit with the lizard. I think I got a plastic lizard off of Amazon, but I think in the future, if I was really going to like dedicate myself to it, I would get a real Evian bottle, and I might try to hunt down some. I think she's wearing like leggings and a zip up in the scene, so I would probably try to dedicate more to it. So we'll put that in Back to the Witch's Workshop. And last but not least, this was a costume I did last year that I absolutely loved. So this was like full crochet level for this. I had the inspiration. I honestly don't remember where I got the inspiration from, but I just had it in my head that I wanted to make a snail backpack and be a snail, like an enchanted snail in the forest. So I decided to dress up as I decided to dress up as an enchanted snail. So I ended up crocheting the backpack using this like green velvet yarn and some like plastic bases to get that shape of the shell. And I added some padding at the end, and then I crocheted the strap so I could wear it like a backpack. And with that, I decided to crochet another hat, of course, that was more of it's a bucket hat, but it has like the little eyes coming up. And I really liked how the eyes came out for this. And I think I ended up getting just like a green dress and some tights, and then I wore it with some boots. And I went down to the canyon that's by my house and did like a whole really nice like morning sun photo shoot, as you can see here. This was one of my all-time favorite costumes. I had so much fun with this one. So this is going into the Slade category. Okay. I'd say I'm gonna move one around. I really honestly loved the like mushroom fairy princess costume I put together, just because I think it was creative with the makeup and everything. So we're gonna move that up into Slade as well. But I am feeling good about these rankings. I think I have come up with some really fun, creative Halloween costumes in the past, and I'm very excited for this year's Halloween and to see what I come up with. And go ahead and comment what you're planning to dress up as in the comments, and we can all get more excited for Halloween together. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up to date on all of my Halloween DIYs, as well as all my crochet and knitting activities. And thanks for watching.